EasiNote Basic Training Tutorial 4, Creating Lines and Arrows. You'll notice here this icon on your screen. This is your lines and arrows icon. If you select this, it brings up a variety that you can select from. Once again, as with the pen, as you select the different colors that are here on the screen, it's highlighted in red. You can change the thickness of the line here, and when you drag it onto the screen, that will be the size of the line. If you do need to move it, just shift it up and down. You can also make it longer by pulling on that arrow. It's at the end. You can also rotate things. So if you do want to make it a diagonal line, you can do that too. Once again, you can change the thickness of the lines. If you want to make it a bit thinner or thicker, pull on that. Change the actual color of the whole thing. You can repeat the line as long as that remains highlighted. You can pull out as many of those lines as you want. You've also got the ability with this to do your normal cut copy functions. You can also add things vertically or horizontally, and if you want to make it a hyperlink, you can do that as well, and you can replay the page. You've also got arrowheads, dotted lines. This is a double line, so if we select that, it will actually give us two of those lines on the screen. You've also got a sort of curved line, and once again, depending on the thickness of that line, you'll get a much larger line itself. There are also curves, so if you do want to create a curve on the screen, you can. Pull on that to make it bigger or smaller, rotate it, and by making that thinner, you can form that curve on the screen. Once again, if you want to move them around, use that select to tap on it, and then you're able to shift it wherever you want to on the screen itself. Now you can use those lines to create lined pages. So we've just got a blank page here. If I go back to the line, I'm going to select the normal line size, make that as thin as possible, select the red initially. I'm just going to drag a line across the page. I'm then going to go back and this time select the dotted line and pick that blue, keep it thin once again, and drag that across the page. If you want to change where it is, just pull it down. And you see this, when you see the cross, you're able to draw another line across the page. And then I'm going to do just one more red solid line. And wait for the hand to form, and you're able to then shift this. You may not see that hand forming in the video, but when you are actually using it, you'll see a little hand, and that will allow you to move that and get the spacing right. When you're happy with that, use your little select icon to once again drag that dotted box. It can be as random as you want around the things you want to group, and you'll see that here's your edit function. What I'm going to do initially is to combine those, so now they're a grouped image. I'm then going to go back to that unlimited copy icon and just drag out as many of these lines as I want onto the actual page itself. And then when you fill up the page, you can actually use the select icon once again to drag a box just randomly around the whole page, as long as you see that appearing here around the page, and you will see that appear once again. You can hit that little down arrow and combine that, and now that's one whole thing. Now if we go to our little page tab, if I want to, you see this is the page I've just added. If I want to have another of that same page, I just hit that copy, and now I've got as many as I do want on the page. To save this and use it for future reference, once again I'll just drag a line around that page and get this here. I am able to save this to my resource bank. If I hit add to resource bank, it's just going to ask me for a name, and I'm just going to hit the tick box there, and now it says I've saved it successfully. When I go to the icon that's the resource bank, we'll look at this more in an upcoming tutorial, but if I click on that, here's my icon that I have, or the image that I've just added. So if I come here and just say, for instance, this is a whole new presentation, if I just hit a blank page, come here, if I double click on that, it automatically will appear on my page, so I can save it for future reference. You've then got your pens here that, if I go back to pencil, change that to black and make it the thinnest line, I can then attempt to write on this page. I'm doing this with my mouse, so it's not looking very neat, but you are able to write that. If I want to erase it, remember to use the first eraser, because that only will erase the pens and not erase the lines that are there. You also have in this series of lines the arrowhead that's there, so if I want to, I can use this to highlight. In this case, the only other option that I have is the stamen, which is right there in the center. And once again, if I do need to make it bigger, I can. I can also change the color of it if I want to for some reason. And you can do unlimited copies, once again, with that one there as well. So for this instance, you would get the children to come up and, using the words that are here, double click on the word and then just drag it to the right arrow. We've also got an icon called Polylines. If we click on this, here it is here. I'm going to change this to red once again, close that down. And this is where, if you had this as a numbered grid, you could start at one point and drag it up to the next point, drag it up to the next point. If you're not happy with that, click on it until it turns black and just move it to the point where you want it. When you're happy, just click on the dot again. You can then drag this down to whatever area. When you finish the line, just click on the tick and it will then appear on the screen. Thank you for viewing this tutorial. For further information, contact us at info@edis.com.au.